Hi guys, today we're talking about another beverage, and this time for 52 drinks in 52 weeks we've chosen a local homegrown spirit called Feni. Traditionally found in Goa and in some certain other states, but Feni remains the Goan prestige and power. Many kinds can be made, the cashew and the coconut, but before we get into that, just a bit about Feni as a product. So traditionally it was made with coconut, but as getting the sap from the tree becomes a tough affair, the toddy is not easy to get. Fewer people are doing it, so you find more cashew Feni. And cashew Feni is not necessarily made from the cashew dry fruit as you know it, but the cashew apple, which is a fresh fruit. You can actually eat it, which later yields the dry fruit version that you know. Funny story, the Portuguese got the cashew to India and we made Feni out of it. The same Portuguese who took sugarcane to Brazil and they made cachaça out of it. So there's a connection if you want. Back to this here. So we're tasting a cashew Feni here. It comes from Goa. This started off as a cashew apple, which yielded us a juice called the Nero, which was then fermented over 3 days. No yeast was added. Post fermentation, you get a distillate, and the first distillate is called the Urak. And many people, at least in Goa, contend it's the only distillate in the world which you can have after one distillation. Moving on from there, from Nero you got Urak, and from Urak if you distill again you get the Kajulo or the Kazulo, which is the second level, and finally the third distillation is what traditionally was called Feni. Today however, a second distillate which is 40 to 42% alcohol is also called the Feni, and a cashew distillate Feni is traditionally sold as a double distillate. And ironically the brand I'm tasting is called Kazulo, which also means firefly. You can see it on their bottle made there, but it is also the word used for the double distillate. Let's have a sip and see what it does. So right off the bat, as I smell this, it smells nothing like spirits as we know it, because if you don't think of gin and vodka, which are not aged, anything else that we know aged comes from oak. And these spirits, although they're aged, are not aged in oak, they're aged in glass carboys. And glass carboys, something like ceramic, would impart a very different form of flavor. So I can find some fruit in this. A touch, more than a touch of soya sauce or something balsamic. So there's a lot of umami in it for sure. It's still very fresh, little citrus in the back there. It's fairly ripe, it's very sweet. Maybe a bit pungent, but I'm not the Feni connoisseur here. And it's spicy. But for me, although I love this one, I think it's an acquired taste. It's also a family of unto its own. So if you have gins and vodkas and whiskeys and you can't compare them, similarly it'll be hard to put Feni in a box. It's something that you learn to taste as a category. And remember, there are hundreds of brands in Goa, and the problem is that a lot of small distilleries making Feni, not all of it is great. A lot of it gets bought by tourists, but there are few brands that make a refined version of it. Luckily for us here, what we're tasting has enough going for it to be used in cocktails. So I can easily see a Feni sour, maybe a Feni kind of margarita based drinks maybe. I think it'll work really well. So I like this. I could even have it on ice. In Goa, I know people love to have it with tan, the local lemonade. So Feni lemonade, Feni Sprite, Feni 7-Up, whatever have you. Outside of that, you could do Feni Cola. So the options are many. You could even have it over ice, and this version here particularly would be lovely over ice. In fact, I have all three here. So this is the coconut one, that's the cashew one, and then we have a special one called the Dukshiri, which is made with the Indian sarsaparilla. Sarsaparilla back in the day, in the Wild West, was used to make soft drinks, which were a bit alcoholic perhaps. It gives a nice little tang to the finished product. So this brand aside, just to let you know that Feni is a product that needs to be seen, needs to be showcased. Unfortunately, although it has a GI tag in India, it remains only sold in Goa and exported. So you can find it in Canada and other countries and in Goa, but you cannot sell it in Bombay and Delhi yet, or Bangalore or wherever. And that's the sad reality of things. Having said that, next time you're in Goa, definitely get yourself a bottle, go for a tasting, try a few, maybe visit a distillery if you can. And always remember, homegrown is what we always try to promote more. So cheers to you in January. There is no dry January here. This is us with Feni, and let us know if you've tried it, what you think of it, or if you try a new spirit, especially from India, let us know about it. Thank you.